Welcome back. And if this is your first time, welcome to Caden versus Complex. I'm Caden.
I'm complex. What's good?
We have to talk about it. Allegedly, Jake Paul is looking for a replacement opponent after new domestic violence charges are filed against Javante Tank Davis. All right. I see you shaking your head already, Complex.
He's
Yes.
crash out of the week, dog. I mean, I told you we got to start a new series on just the crash outs because these dudes between Tank and oh boy, what's his name?
Adrian,
AB. We'd have endless
those
videos.
two former best boxing buddies. All right.
Exactly.
So Ring ESPN Ringside tweeted Javante Tank Davis is facing new civil suit over domestic allegations just 2 weeks before his scheduled fight with Jake Paul on November 14th. Javante Davis faces new civil suit over domestic allegations. Davis is accused by his ex-girlfriend Courtney Russell of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. This lawsuit comes 2 months after Davis' previous domestic violence case was dropped by a different ex-girlfriend and the mother of two of the boxer's three children. So you see that report there. And that's the situation. A new charge with Javante Tank Davis has created a situation where MVP promotions, Netflix, and everyone are potentially looking for a new opponent. So here is what was posted by this gentleman, Inevitable D Block, on Twitter, and this is an actual this is from an ESPN article, so this is legit. And in the ESPN article, they state, according to the complaint, Rosso alleges that in the early hours of October 27, 2025, Davis stormed into Tootsie's, the Miami Gentlemen's Club, where she worked as a VIP cocktail waitress, and attacked her inside the VIP lounge. The suit says Davis grabbed, choked, and dragged Rosso through a stillwell, the kitchen, and the back exit before beating her in the parking garage, striking her in the back of the head while she was screaming for help.
How you gonna pull up to Tootsie's like that, bro?
Tootsies, this is what's happening in Tootsies. Rosso claims she and Davis had been privately dating for about 5 months, but that their relationship was marked by repeated physical abuse and death threats. The complaint outlines a terrifying pattern. On multiple occasions, Davis allegedly choked her, threatened to kill her, and assault her both in private and in public settings. One of the most chilling moments described in the lawsuit took place at Playa Miami on September 23rd, 2025, when Davis allegedly choked Rosso in public after accusing her of cheating. That same day, he allegedly sent her a written death threat reading, "I'll kill you." Rosso says the violence escalated in October. On the night of the attack at Tootsie's, Davis reportedly dragged her through the club and out into the parking garage, leaving her terrified and humiliated in front of co-workers, which means there are potential witnesses, allegedly. About an hour later, she says he texted her, "I'm on my way. Yo, ya house." I don't know what that means.
To your
Which
house. He probably
he
meant
was
to your
so
house.
mad. He was so mad. That's right. He was so mad, which she interpreted as another threat of violence. So this is from the ESPN article, right there. So as you see, this is what the allegations are. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the rumors because it started floating around that Ryan Garcia was being contacted. And here it is. You see a happy punch. It says Jake Paul has reportedly offered Ryan Garcia to replace Javante Davis following new domestic violence allegations against Tank. Jake's teams also reached out to other potential opponents for a December date. So it looks like they're potentially going to push it back to
Push it back a
December,
month or so.
maybe. Yeah,
Mhm.
as a potential option. Uh, I don't know. Nothing has been definitive or has come out yet. But Oscar De La Hoya quickly shut that down. This is what Oscar De La Hoya had to say.
What's up, guys? Happy Saturday. So I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, "Oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting." No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Vergil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next. See you guys.
It's just funny because he has on a Vergil Ortiz shirt, and then he's promoting Vergil Ortiz fight coming up while he's saying, Ryan, sorry, buddy, but you're not going to be able to have this opportunity.
Hey, Oscar kept it straight. G said, business is business, all right? He's like, I don't care about none of that stuff you're talking about. You signed a contract. I'm holding you to that. Man, that was a lot. Wow.
Yeah, well, there's one more thing, and then
Ooh.
we can get into it. So there's been other reports that Jake Paul's team has reportedly contacted Francis Ngannou to step in as a replacement opponent for Gervonta Davis. Other names being explored are Nate Diaz, Ryan Garcia, and Terrence Crawford. I think that Terrence Crawford and Francis Ngannou is absolute cap, but anyways... Yeah, but that I'm gonna throw it to you now. And so, one, I want your reaction to these new allegations and the fight potentially being either canceled or postponed. And then I want you to tell me who will replace Tank if he's not allowed to fight Jake Paul on November 14th.
Yeah, let's focus on the first part because I think that's an entire conversation in itself, and then we can definitely. It will definitely.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a two-part discussion.
Yeah, it's a two-for. We give you 2 for 1 right now, guys.
Yeah.
So, first off, I just want to say, we want to take all allegations of domestic violence seriously, right? Obviously, he's innocent until proven guilty, technically, and as far as I understand, this is a civil filing, right? Not a criminal,
civil,
right?
yes.
So it's not that he's been arrested. There's no warrant or anything like that. So this isn't for a criminal. This is civil. But these are very harrowing allegations. It's very concerning to hear that any man is treating a woman like that. So I just want to say we want to take it seriously. We do have fun and talk about things like that, but there are victims in cases like this, and we don't want it to be taken any kind of lightly. But with all that said, Gervonta's got to be a generational crash out, dog. Like, this motherfucker cannot get out of his own way, dude. Like, you about to blow a bag. I the numbers I've heard are something crazy, but let's say it was like, I don't know, 15 million or something, right? Which is, who knows, whatever. Let's just say, let me pick a number, 15 million. You're probably going to get, after everything, 7 million after taxes, right? 7 million cash, right? 7 million cash after taxes. That's good enough for you to live off for a while, for anybody to be good, and not to include all the other money you already made. And you already kind of want to get out of boxing anyways. You're disillusioned with the sport. You're tired of this. So this is your retirement package, a nice, after taxes, at the very least $7 million package, and you just whoosh, blew it because you can't keep your hands to yourself with your stripper girlfriend at her job. You jealous.
She was a waitress.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure she's waiting on something.
What was that? Oh, wait, real quick. I just want to add something. Quick ad lib. You said that Tank blew the bag. So either they blow the bag or they get the bag, then they blow the bag on a bag. Shout out to Devin, if you know what I'm saying.
Bad decision making all around. First off,
yes.
You're secretly dating I'm just call her stripper because she works at a strip club.
Privately dating her, yes.
Privately dating, which is, hey man.
They said it nicely. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying the wording was private.
Right. Privately. But you getting jealous over her at her job, bro. Are you some sort of dummy? Like, what's wrong with you? What do you think she's doing? How did you meet her? So you're jealous of her doing her job, making her money, right? And you go and showing up to her job while she's in the VIP lounge, doing her job, right? Somebody paid a lot of money for that, and you came and ruined it. All right.
She was doing her job too well. She was doing her job too well.
Good for her. That's how she got you. You know what I'm saying? Let the woman do her job. Listen, imagine you're in the VIP. I paid you ever go to the clubs in Miami? It's a lot of money. Them VIP lounges is no joke. I'll vouch. Don't worry, I'll let you know. Okay, it's expensive. All right. Hey, Vegas, Miami, New York, some of these cities, they don't play. Imagine you in the VIP lounge. You trying to get you found a nice. Well, what was her name? Cassie or whatever.
Courtney,
Russell, whatever. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Courtney, come over here, girl. I like you. Let's go into the VIP lounge, right? The champagne room, as they also call it. Okay, you try to have fun.
It was courting Courtney,
right? You're trying to have fun in the champagne room, and here comes Javante all huffing and puffing and pulling your girl, bro. The song wasn't even over yet. I paid for this whole song, all right? I need my song, all right? So I don't know. Look, Javante, honestly, it's really sad because it's such a waste. You know what I mean? First off, the fight was goofy from the beginning. It was a circus fight, right? You're avoiding Lamont Roach. You're, the way you're moving, you're not really caring about boxing. So you're throwing legitimate boxing out the window. You go take the circus fight that's going to get you paid. Congrats to you. Now you blow that as well. So what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And you know what's funny, actually? Javante, I don't know if this is planned or not, but I feel like always before Javante's fights, he has something big happen. Some big, thing that, kind of gets him in the media. I feel like he's had things with his previous girlfriend, I think, which they mentioned in the article.
They mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I always feel like he has something going on. And I think it's his way of, I don't know if he does it on purpose to try to draw attention to him. He thinks it's good publicity or
horrible way to draw attention to.
But this ain't the way, because you're dealing with Netflix now. Netflix is a multi-billion-dollar organization. I don't even know they're a huge organization.
Yeah,
they don't need you.
Yeah, they don't want to associate themselves with
guys with potential domestic violence allegations. They don't need you. You know how many movies and billions they get? They don't need to spend $1 on you. They're gonna kick you off and move to the next, right? So
that's a great point. I just want to add to that that you made. That normally that hasn't been the case in boxing because you have promoters who are taking the loss, so they want to put the event on regardless of whether or not you pick up charges. But with Netflix, it's changed. Like you said, Netflix has sponsors and they care about their image. So although normally this probably wouldn't hurt a Javante Tank Davis fight, it will if Netflix is the one paying for it, sponsoring it, because they're not going to want to put someone who's accused of domestic violence on their platform. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. Well, and that's a good point because generally the pay-per-view model is direct to consumer, right? In this case, they're bypassing that, saying we're going to pay for it and just provide it for free. So now you have to play by their rules, right? And you can't just whatever. If this is a PBC fight, it's just being hosted on some sort of pay-per-view platform, whatever, because you said the promoter is taking the risk or loss, right? They're hoping to get the money back through pay-per-view. So for the average boxing fan, unfortunately, I don't know if this would throw a lot of people off from stopping to watch the fight, right? If the average boxing fan, but the average viewing person on Netflix who just is a person turning on would absolutely throw them off, right? You have huge audiences of women, just people who would be turned off to that, right? So you don't want that on your image. You don't need that.
And right? Netflix will probably get boycotted if they put them on too by feminist groups and stuff.
Exactly. So they're not going to touch you with a 10-foot pole. So congratulations, you played yourself. Now, where do we go from here? You know what I mean? I just think, the allegations are bad, and then also Javante in terms of blowing the bag or kind of messing things up. It's with the guy who's got that much talent, pound for pound talent, right? And also recognition within the sport. For him to go out like this is kind of sad as well. You know what I mean? It's sad and disappointing. But I'm actually curious to see your thoughts on particular in terms of that. Before we go into the Jake Paul sweepstakes, is what do you think about Javante? And
that's what we should call it, the Jake Paul sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Oh, my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I think you brought up some great points, and I think probably the point that matters most is Netflix is a streaming service that's looking to provide entertainment to people who pay a lot of money, increasing costs. Like, let's be honest, Netflix is looking for a reason to increase the cost of your monthly subscription.
Mhm.
And they need to be able to say they're bringing you the best in entertainment. And as you know, this live sporting events is new. Remember the first one, major one, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, it was all buffering. They weren't even prepared for the amount of traffic that their servers were receiving. So this is what they're doing. With all that being said, they're paying for this, and they are a company, an entity, and they're paying for this. Unlike promoters who put on an event, they're taking a loss. So they're probably going to be less likely to cancel a fight for a criminal charge. Netflix is likely to cancel the event because they have a consumer market that they're trying to appease, and they know that they're going to be people who are part of their consumer market that are going to see this and be like, how can you pay this guy $15 million with his history? Not even that, because even with allegations, they're just allegations, right? And it's just a civil suit, as you pointed out, Complex, right? But the thing is, he has a history of this. Like, he's been accused several times. So you're going to have people who are like, how did he even get the opportunity to be on Netflix now? So it's a bad look. So I think due to the fact that Netflix is a streaming service that's looking to for numerous ways to provide content to their subscribers so that they could increase their monthly subscription costs, I feel like they're not going to take the risk of putting Javante Tank Davis on that platform with these charges. Now, I want to highlight. Remember Rolly Romero? He was about to have a big fight. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Tank. I think it was like he was about to fight Tank. Then someone came out with sexual assault allegations against Rolly. The fight got canceled. Rolly cleared his name, and then he was able to fight Tank later on. Because I remember that they were starting to build up for it, and then Rolly had to they had to cancel the fight. That's when Tank fought Pitbull Cruz last minute, and then Rolly cleared his name.
I
Maybe
remember. Yeah.
maybe Tank goes on to clear his name, maybe, but still Netflix can't take that risk. So I do feel like Netflix is in a tough position. I don't think they're going to take the risk to move on with Javante Tank Davis, and I think that's the key point. You have a company that's subscription based, a company that's not willing to put their reputation on the line, lose sponsors, lose subscribers by putting Javante Tank Davis on the platform. So I think for that reason, they're going to replace Tank. You know, maybe they'll surprise me and they'll keep him, but I just don't see it happening. Now let's talk about the Javante Tank Davis sweepstakes complex.
The Jake Paul sweepstakes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So
Who's
Javante
gonna?
Tank Davis sweepstakes is Laurent Roach now, probably.
Yeah, yeah. We need a big wheel to spin all the names. Like, who's gonna be? Who's gonna be? It's so funny. Jake Paul, I think I saw recently, was trying to get ranked by the WBO at least in the top 15 in the world or something, right?
Well, beating Javante, bro.
Right. Who's not even close to cruiserweight. I would love to see him fight a top 15 cruiserweight. Why not? Right? Me personally, right?
Stop it.
I would love to see him. Why don't you fight the number 15 guy in the world? If you beat him, now you're at least the very least number 15, right? If you really feel that way. But obviously that's not the game we're playing here. So unfortunately, that would be my personal pick. But in terms of the names, like you said, they mentioned a lot of names. Francis Ngannou stuck out to me. Absolute 1,000% never happening.
He's not
right?
fighting Francis, bro.
He's not
Francis
fighting
dropped
Francis
Tyson Fury. Are you kidding me?
Francis will hurt Jake. Francis will hurt Jake. Because think about it. Francis, first off, he's a freak human being. He's like 250 pure muscle, right? Off the strength, just off that. then he's also an experienced fighter, like still fairly in his prime. It's not like Anderson Silva, who's like pushing 50 or something, you know what I mean? Or any of these other guys who you fought, MMA fighters who are like way past their prime. This is a former heavyweight champion, UFC heavyweight champion, fought and the actual world heavyweight champion in boxing and lasted 12 rounds, got a split decision. He did get blasted out by
No, it wasn't 12
Anthony
rounds.
Joshua.
It wasn't 12 rounds. It was less than 12.
Was it 10?
I
The
think
fight
it was like 8 or 10.
With Fury?
With Fury, yeah. But you
Okay,
you said he went the distance. That's not even. He dropped Fury, bro.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
dog, like
he got a split decision. He got a split
that's what I'm
decision.
saying. Lost.
Yeah. Loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. At least one professional judge had him winning over the heavyweight champion of the world.
So I had him winning.
Yeah, right?
I had him winning. Like,
but Francis Ngannou is, I think it's just cat. I mean, honestly, I would have a lot of respect for Jake if they legitimately, but then I would also think like there's been always like these kind of allegations that Jake has these fights where it's like you can't, like there's a clause that you can't get knocked out or something like that. It's hard for me to, I don't know, believe anything in this sport or with his fights. But in any event, I'll tell you the right answer, right? Because all these other names or whatever, it's gonna be Nate Diaz, right? It's gonna be Nate Diaz because that's the path of least resistance for him. Nate Diaz will be happy with 1 or 2 million, right? You give him 1 or 2 million, he's gonna step in there, which is great money. I mean, don't get me wrong. For that's like the highest end for a lot of MMA fighters. It's probably one of the highest end, maybe 5 million at most, right? But wherever you were going to pay Gervonta, you can pay him a fraction of that. Nate Diaz has recently been online talking about like, I think he wanted like a rematch because he felt like he didn't have whatever, something like that. So, and every other name that was brought up, it's not going to happen because Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford would take the fight in a second.
That's a joke.
But he's not doing it because Terrence Crawford will hurt him.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Right. He's not. It's not going to be Ryan Garcia, obviously, because Ryan, and we'll probably talk about that later. Is Ryan's got some other business that he might have to handle soon, which is, I think, to me, a bigger deal. So a chance at a world championship. And then what else was the names? I mean, any other retired MMA fighter? Oh, I heard there's this other MMA fighter who turned to boxing. What's his name? Oh my God, he's in the UK now.
Darren Till.
Boom, Darren Till. It could be him because Darren Till was former UFC fighter. He's got a name and he's been boxing, so I can see that. And he's got a good like little following and he speaks. I think if the fight was happening in the UK, it'd probably sell a little bit more. But for a short notice, he might be. But it's not. It's gonna be like somebody that's very manageable. That is who's willing to step in on short notice. Right, on like a couple of weeks training camp or whatever, barely. So it's not going to be any kind of real threat. So it is what it is. But I'd say I put my money on Nate Diaz or Darren Till. It's like safe bets.
I don't know. I don't feel like Nate Diaz is big enough for a Netflix event, and I think whoever they pick is going to have to, be able to carry the interest of a Netflix event. Like, it's going to have to be worthy of Netflix backing it. See, Nate Diaz and Jake Paul is cool for his little pay-per-view type of event, Misfits boxing type of event, but it has to be on Netflix. Darren Till, no one knows him in America. So I don't think he's going to be big enough to headline Netflix. Normally, those would be good replacements for Jake, but I think they got to go for name recognition. And Francis Ngannou is capped. It's not happening. Francis Ngannou, he's not a boxer, but his punching power is real. And he was able to hurt Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury got up and he outboxed him. Now, again, Tyson Fury is a championship fighter, so it usually has 12 rounds. The fight with Francis Ngannou wasn't 12. If it went 12, Fury would have won on points because there would have been more rounds. The issue was it was a shorter fight.
Right.
That's why it was split. Once Fury started boxing, he was bagging the rounds easy. The thing was, Fury went in there thinking it was a joke, and then he got dropped, and then he had to recover. When it comes to Francis Ngannou, he hits way too hard. Like, he's just too much of an athlete, hits too hard. Stop playing. That's not happening. Terrence Bud Crawford, too skilled, too intelligent, high boxing IQ. He boxed circles around Jake, probably even stopped Jake because he hits hard too for a little guy. He's strong for a little guy. It's just not happening. Like, not happening. He's not fighting Terrence Bud Crawford. And the thing about Terrence Bud Crawford too is Terrence Bud Crawford recently fought at 168. So he's probably walking around at like at least 178, 180. So you want to mess around with Bud at 180? Yeah, right. So I don't believe that's
Bud could walk off the street wearing his Timbs and still box circles around Jake and put his boot up his ass. Legitimately, like
exactly. So that remind you're bringing up something that's funny, but it's true. I think a good replacement is a guy who once played in a basketball game the night of his fight. He played basketball. Then he went and he had a fight later that night in his prime.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Roy Jones.
Oh God, he would take that
Roy
fight too.
Jones is a good replacement,
but is
Roy?
Yeah,
who cares?
That would actually, I could see that. But Roy, I don't know.
Roy Jones has name recognition. Roy Jones, like you said, is known for never turning down a fight. He's had a few of these exhibitions already, and he's right up Jake's alley. An old legend who doesn't have it anymore. And also Roy is knockout prone. Roy's been knocked out so many times.
But Roy, because Roy, I'm trying to think, what's Roy's last fight? What's even his
He fought that bodybuilder dude the last time in like the metaverse fight or something like that. You know that big old bodybuilder dude, stiff dude who walks around knocking food out of people's hands.
Oh,
like, what are you doing eating this mess? All he does is yell. Like he's like a comedian bodybuilder dude.
Well, no, technically his last fight was to Anthony Pettis, who's a former MMA fighter. This is what I was saying, making his pro debut. That was his last fight, and that was back in 2023.
No, that's his last official fight. But he had a little exhibition type of fight with that bodybuilder dude in like the metaverse.
So is that a fight, or is that them? Were they like using the things on there?
No, they were having an actual fight.
Oh, but you say it was streamed in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like they met up in the metaverse to fight.
It was 2 years ago. When did he fight Pettis?
2023, April 1st.
Okay. Well, I don't know the exact date, but I could pull it up on here. Hold on. What's his name? Endo.
Oh, Champion. I think he's like a Liberian dude, like a bodybuilder, and he
yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up right now because I just got it up here. Here it is. Yeah. So he fought this dude right here, the bodybuilder dude right there. Let me turn the sound off because I don't want to get flagged. But yeah, see Roy and this dude, and they were fighting in, like the metaverse. So it's not showing up on Roy's record, but this was like his last event. And this is my point. Fighting a guy like this and fighting Jake Paul, that's right up Roy's alley. You see Roy letting this stiff dude live because you know Roy could have.
So I don't know. Roy's got the ultimate dad bod here. He looks very.
Listen, Roy
looks very smooth there.
Dad bod Roy. Dad bod Roy versus. But anyways, you see what I'm saying? I feel like Roy is a real possibility for a replacement, just because I think Jake will be confident that he can beat him. It's another legendary name he can add to his list, and so I got Roy as a potential opponent for him. I think Clarissa Shields is a potential opponent for Jake. If you want to do Battle of the Sexes, she's always saying she wants to fight a man. She could beat
Clarissa
a man.
gonna blow the fight too. She gonna do something. Clarissa's gonna do. Clarissa's gonna take it too serious, and she's gonna try to really fight, and then he's gonna have to fight her back. And then
it is what it is. But you're telling
Clarissa
me
keeps saying she could beat up a man, but then I saw there was a sparring footage where some dude, like her sparring partner, dropped her badly. It was like, bro, Like,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
out of
but
here.
she said he was using gloves without padding. She went glove gate on the sparring session.
Oh
But
God.
the point isn't whether or not they're gonna fight in 12-ounce gloves anyway. So the point is, if you're looking for an event that people would watch and that could probably be made, and Clarissa is dying to break the record that Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor hold in terms of most views in a fight. So if she gets the opportunity to do that, she would do it in a heartbeat, I feel like. And again, I'm just naming names of people who I feel like could replace
Yeah.
Javante and do good numbers or even better numbers. I think Clarissa Shields is one. People are saying Carl Froch. He will not step in the ring with Carl Froch. He's in shape. He's
That would
in
be great.
good
If
shape.
Carl Froch, I wonder, he hasn't fought in years. He hasn't trained. But if the fight was in 2 weeks, I'd say no. But if you give him a month, let him get in a little bit of shape. Oh, Carl Froch is gonna work Jake. He's gonna give Jake that business.
Evander Holyfield. No, Froch has been in shape. He posted a picture of himself. Like,
Oh, he has.
yeah, Froch is in shape. Froch is campaigning. Like, pick me. Froch is saying, pick me.
He's not gonna do that. He's not
Yeah,
gonna do that.
he's not crazy enough to do that. So he won't do that.
The Cobra would do him dirty too. The Cobra.
Yeah, Froch. I tell you what, he picked Froch. There's no script. I don't
Yeah.
care if he signs and says he's going. There's no script. He's following.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his behind whoop. Period. Look, and another fight I see people throwing around is Edgar Berlanga, but he's not gonna fight Berlanga. Like Berlanga will cook him. Like we can joke on Berlanga, but Berlanga would roast him. So another realistic name to me would probably be Evander Holyfield, just because we saw how poorly he looked in an exhibition. Another
Yeah.
legend, a big name, and I think Jake will go in there and just try to smoke him. So those are my three. I think Roy Jones, Clarissa Shields, or Evander Holyfield would be the type
The
of
trouble
people.
the trouble with Roy or Evander, although they are legends, is that they are legends that like have been too accessible recently, right? Tyson was different because Tyson, we haven't really seen him fight since the last time he fought as a professional, and Tyson hasn't fought in a long time, like since his actual professional fights, right? Whereas Evander has done like exhibitions, looked bad, lost or whatever, right? Same thing with Roy. He's fought recently, looked like not that great. So when Tyson fought, it was just like a big treat. Like, oh my God, Tyson's fighting, right? We haven't really seen him have like remember when Roy and Tyson fought, that was a big deal. But since then, Roy's done a bunch of other stuff. Tyson hasn't. So that's the difference. But in any event, I think I just don't know. Honestly, I could see Netflix canceling the whole thing, right? Because it's like
Vasily, actually, what about Vasily?
I don't think Jake would take that fight because Vasily's gonna just box circles around him.
Well,
Even
he's available. It's rumored he was going to do an exhibition with Manny Pacquiao. So
yeah, no, Vasily would be okay, but I don't think enough casual fans in boxing know Vasily, or enough casual people. Like if you said Jake Paul versus Lomachenko, like boxing fans know Lomachenko. You know, like Tank Davis, people know Tank Davis. You know, honestly, Mayweather would be the best, but I don't know if that would change the whole game. But that would be a huge, because also Mayweather was planning to do an exhibition with Tyson. So you throw Mayweather, he's going to need a lot more money though, like 60, 70 mil at
yeah, I
least.
don't know why they haven't done that. And I think honestly, I think if Jake and Floyd fight each other, they'll probably do it on some joint promotion pay-per-view type by themselves, unless Netflix is going to pay some crazy money.
Because that could sell, that would sell a lot, I would think, no matter what. But it would, I think, if Netflix wanted to have a marquee event, a big event, yeah, Floyd versus Jake, you know what I mean, would be huge because they did Floyd versus Logan. I forget if that was on pay-per-view or not.
It was, but it was on a different like
Platform,
Fandango or something like that,
something
Fandango
like
or
that.
whatever. Yeah.
No, I think Mayweather's probably the best if you say you want to do a, because Netflix events now they're only going for the big marquee events. They're not playing with like any other regular stuff. So I think Mayweather would be the only name I could think of right now. that would be good. Or like if Canelo's not taking that fight, but I don't think Jake would want to take that fight either. So that's why I don't know. I think it's one of those. It's gonna be something like that. But I guess we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Well, let us know who you think will win the Jake Paul sweepstakes, and also let us know your thoughts on Gervonta Tank Davis. Do you think he should still be allowed to fight November 14th? Excuse me. Do you think Netflix will take the potential backlash and risk of losing subscribers and still put on the event on November 14th? Let us know. It's Caden and Complex. We're out.